Howdy, everybody. It's 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And this is, I always want to say off the ledge. I guess everything's kind of off the ledge. This is Spirit Talk Podcast with your resident psychic, Annette and our resident astrologer, Kathy Biehl, who's
Hey,
so
hey.
generous with her time and resources and experience and expertise for
As you are.
astrology. Thank you. Well, not for astrology. I'm
No, no.
so, and honestly, we should be famous. Can I just say that we should be famous
Mhm.
because of our expertise. So, we have a lot of things to talk about as usual. Things are escalating in the United States. All that we warned people about for years is now coming to pass because mainstream media was not telling the real news. They were never talking about the real news. So now I think that's going to change. But let's just kind of start with the energy of today, the climate astrologically. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit the thumbs up while you're here. If anyone has any questions that kind of jump out, maybe we'll address them. We're gonna do like Kathy's gonna ask me questions too because I don't want to make her work, her head off. It is summer. It is vacation season. So how are
Uh,
you? What's going? What's it doesn't feel like it,
well,
right?
there's
What's
a
happening?
really interesting astrological configuration going on for the next few days, and I encourage people to look at what's happening in the news from this perspective. There is a lot of talk, but a lot of action on revelations, action on stuff that has come up during Mercury's retrograde. Mercury has
Yeah,
been retrograde since July 18. It
yeah.
stations direct on Monday the 11th, but it's already just hanging out at the degree where it's going to station direct. So it's sort of effectively motionless, just kind of sending up little sparks and little sparks and little sparks. And we have something going on in the sky that's called a grand trine. There is a current of energy running round robin from Mars in Libra, which is taking action on agreements, acting for social justice, filing lawsuits, flowing directly into Pluto in Aquarius, which is all the technological stuff, and acting on or bringing secrets up, and then flowing unbroken into Uranus and Gemini, which is bringing all kinds of shocking information to light. And so this is a really, it's a time of implementing and taking action. And just notice a law firm got founded just this week of people who are the purpose of the law firm is going after the Trump administration, and it's
Oh,
got people who have had high level positions elsewhere, and they've all come together. Yep.
wait. What do they call themselves?
Hold on a second. I think it's the Washington Litigation Group. Just a second, I have it.
Oh, that's
It's called
great. And then,
the
go ahead.
Washington Litigation Group. Yeah, and the purpose is specifically to go after overreach by the Trump administration.
So where we don't have a DOJ that's going to do that because they're complicit. This is definitely needed.
Yeah.
It's necessary. All along, I've been looking at okay, who's going to hold them accountable? Who's going to be the checks and balances? Our nation was founded on a system of checks and balances, and when the checks are gone, that's tyranny. So that's really good news. And as you're talking about that round robin sort of effect, I sense it energetically as like it feels like things all rising at once. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, there'd be
It,
of swiftness to this and an information flow that's going to be really hard to control, and also a terrific amount of passion attached to it. And let me see if I can explain the technicality of this. When you've got that flow, that round robin, you always look for something being in the middle to ground it, and it turns it from this crazy flow to a kite, like there's something that needs to be the string. Well, this one has two strings. One of them is Mercury hanging out at its a direct station. So there's this fiery communication stuff. And then there's another one, and that's Saturn and Neptune, which have been traveling together. Saturn and Neptune in Aries also stoking fire, adding an unpremeditated just attack vibe to it all. So this isn't just info flying. This is stuff that people feel really strongly about and are going to do things about like crazy. And this comes right before a full moon that is a getting unstuck full moon. And next week has lots of getting unstuck aspects as well. So yes, things look utterly insane. They probably will escalate into even more insane.
Yeah.
But there's a good thing coming from this. Think of the inevitability of the Epstein revelations, the amount of information that's now coming back around that's been publicly available for years and years and years and years and years. And that talk isn't going away. That's one piece of it. Then the fact that the Mercury retrograde inspired Tulsi Gabbard to gin up a criminal referral for all kinds of people in the the Obama administration about the 2016 election means that has just been put on the table for revisiting. So he's put that back in play. Oh, gee, might not want to do that.
It reminds me of what just happened with Rupert Murdoch, right? Is that he was suing Rupert Murdoch for the Wall Street Journal piece,
yes,
and Trump dropped it. Look at what can of worms that would be.
Are you sure he dropped the suit, or he dropped his demand that Murdoch be deposed immediately?
I don't know. I confess
I'm not sure the suit is gone. I think something completely abnormal that he was trying to do got put in a box. I think the suit still exists. However, in that arena, Devin Nunes, who's his own special type of ick,
the cow farmer, was he the dairy farmer?
Yeah, he had his case against Rachel Maddow thrown out. Yes, this week. So
what? Back up. I was looking at the chat. What'd you say about Rachel Maddow?
Devin Nunes sued her years ago for defamation or something. I don't know. And it got thrown out this week.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Huh. Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
What was he saying? How did he say that she was defaming him?
Because she reported something that was truthful.
Oh, that pesky truth reporting. It's in the way of tyranny every single time. So inconvenient.
Doesn't it though? So, I mean, there's a lot of crappy stuff happening. We can't fool ourselves about being at the precipice. However, it's not like we're stuck there. And there are a bunch of things coming down the pike astrologically in the next 6 weeks that are kind of fruit basket turnover. Bam.
Did you ever think you would see that Democrats are coming together and they're being really strong?
I knew they're capable of it.
Okay, well, that's a good side effect. So yeah, a lot coming down the pike, and I have a really good feeling about this full moon. I keep mentioning that. So.
Yep. Details. I have a forecast up about it on my YouTube channel, which is Professional Aquarian, and also on my website, which is empowermentunlimited.net. So if you want to read it, you want to hear it, 2 different ways.
Yeah, good. And that's all free. So check it out. I was just mentioning before we went on that I was listening to Jay Smart, who has a great YouTube channel. He used to live in Russia. He's not allowed in Russia anymore because he tells that inconvenient truth, right? And he's reporting that Putin, like intelligence agencies like that are really intense. They use all kind of amazing technology, are are stating that Putin like wasn't at the victory parade. Remember the victory parade they had in Russia? That wasn't him. So on a couple different occasions, like when Witkoff went over there, that he didn't meet with like the real Putin. So, and I've been saying for years that Putin is like not. I don't think he's the original one is still here. That's my impression. And Russia is really failing. And I've been really wondering. Dumpy is talking about going to Russia to talk to Putin. I'm not sure when that's supposed to happen, but knowing that Putin is so in dire straits, really the utmost of desperation point he's at. I'm wondering if you've seen or if you can look at the astrology for like maybe I think it's supposed to be next week. Do you
You're
think
talking
it's
about
likely?
The 12th?
I keep going to August 12th and I keep going to September 14th for big things happening. It might be on the 12th.
Well, the 12th is going to be a really good day for many of us. A really good, wonderful day. I've declared it take your teddy bear to work day.
I know, because you said that, I decided I'm just going to spend the whole day at the beach.
I think that's a great thing. One thing that'll happen, I think women are going to come forward that put a nail in a coffin.
Yeah, from the Epstein thing, right?
I think women. Now, Gloria Allred, who is a killer attorney, I would not want her coming after me, who represented a number of the victims, has made a speech in the last couple of days. So she's emerged. And I would not be surprised if on the 12th, an onslaught of women come forward with really disgusting stories that directly involve someone who's been wandering on the roof lately. And just an aside, if you really did experience a sniper's attack out in the open, A, would you be on a roof? And B, would the Secret Service let you be on a roof?
Open target, right? Clear view. Yeah.
Anyway, so going back to August 12th, it's a day or two after that might be when something really major action is taken against the diddler on the roof. I've seen a meme for that, which is lovely.
I heard that one last night at PNN's.
Yeah. So
it's not great.
That's just one of many. There are many gear shift moments. That's a big one. And it's the most beautiful day of the year for us mere mortals. I could think of a couple of things that might make me really happy and get me to go to that bottle of Prosecco that is chilling in my refrigerator.
You can come up here. We can go to the beach. Or I might go to Maine. I mean, we can go to Maine.
You're in stage 2. I know. Stage 1, Prosecco with the cool crone and her confetti guns. She's got confetti cannons, and she's like 25 minutes away from me. And then number 2, Marianne at Revealing Light said the same thing. Women coming forward. Yeah, coming forward in a legal proceeding. Clearly, the astrology says that.
The Epstein thing. What's going to happen is here it is. He's going to cover it up. They are covering it up. He's going to pardon Ghislaine if he hasn't already. He's going to. That's the plan. And then they're going to cover it all up. They're going to pretend. They're going to try to act as if Trump had nothing to do with Epstein at all. And that is when the women, especially the victims, start screaming really loudly. They will not be ignored. And isn't there something going on with Venus that indicates that sort of thing?
Yes, that's it. That's it. And then there's something a couple of days later. So Venus and Jupiter are going to be conjunct in Cancer on the U.S. sun. So we're going to really be inundated with, and also like, what are our values? There's a big piece of this of what does this country stand for? Who are we? And it involves the courts, it involves our legal system, it involves what we believe, and it also is slamming some stuff in you know whose chart. Also, the Mercury retrograde is going to, it's already gone twice. Mercury's already gone twice over his Pluto in that 12th house, which is hidden deals, criminality, whatever the money laundering was, sex trafficking, you name it, all those possible things. And it's going to cross it again early in September. None of these things are going away. There are many things saying, come
No.
back, come back, come back.
No, and I feel like in September, I was reading on it last night, and I felt like in September the prices are going to be jacked up by about 3 times on
Would
everything.
make sense.
And
That would make
that's
sense.
so September, that's what's going to push people like, whoa, I better say something to that, along with everything else. Americans are fed up, but they're not fed up if they don't know what's going on. The ones that know what's going on are fed up. The ones that don't know what's going on will be questioning when the prices jack up. And Canada's decided to just boycott the U.S. products across the board.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I heard that they also, so the people in Kentucky, who have, what's it, Kentucky bourbon, and I think Maker's Mark.
Oh, they're going bankrupt.
Yeah, and Kentucky went for Trump by like a lot. So this is the wake up call, really, of all wake up calls. It will be. So September there's an eclipse.
2.
There's usually 2, right? If there's a one eclipse like a lunar, it's followed by a solar, or I don't know.
Yeah, in this case, that's the order. The order isn't always that way, but in this case, that's the order. Yeah.
And
yeah,
you mentioned the first one having an effect on Dumpy, right?
Yeah. It's gonna set off the most disruptive influence in his chart, meaning he'll be even more chaotic than normal, but it could also really, really destabilize his place in the world and destabilize his health. Does it look like it wouldn't take too much to destabilize that? I mean, I don't see how anybody else, if you did not have access to that level of health care, would you be ambulatory given his lifestyle? I don't think so.
So when he was on the roof, which is, I mean, like, what the hell was that? So I'm wondering what your take on it was. Maybe not particularly astrologically, because there's 2 things that could have been going on there. One, it was my take, is that he was really high, and then he went really high on the roof, and overwhelmed and just like needed to escape. But then there's another theory that maybe it was a little bit of both, that says something was going on that he wanted to detract everyone's attention from. And what better to detract people's attention than him going up on the roof and acting like a crazy person?
Yep.
Which do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Also, that's not a sane solution to anything. So there's also the what is going wrong with his mind portion to it as well. Like, why would that be what you would do?
Well, for him, for his brain, why it would be that what he would do is because, just observing him through the years, I'm starting to get very clear to me that every single time there's a bad news story, there's a story that that's kind of blows up, and like the No King's March, people weren't really talking about the No King's March because he had a disastrous military parade, and then when the disastrous military parade and the No King's March happened, what did he do? He attacked Iran. So we weren't looking really at either. We were looking at that he attacked Iran, and he's done that with every single thing. So with all this Epstein stuff, he's dredging up. He's going to Tulsi Gabbard, who owes him one, because she had said in the past Iran doesn't have any nuclear weapons developed, right? So she owes him one. And so now he wants her to go after Obama. Of course, boy, that's his dream. I'm sure he fantasizes about that all the time, as he does, other people, to go after other people, because he's a true fascist. So, have you looked at that situation with the Tulsi and Blondie and Obama and the grand jury? Because I'm getting it's just gonna like fall apart. It has nothing to hold it together.
The only thing I've looked at is that Mercury retrograde has Mercury going over Obama's sun. That's why he's been brought back into the conversation.
Oh,
And again, this will go on for a while. This will go on for a while, unfortunately. And because, and here's the lawyer in me speaking up, we have a Department of Justice and an FBI that I don't trust to not falsify evidence. And I've read that they're going to bring the grand jury in Florida and not in DC. If it were in DC, there's no chance in hell that there would be an indictment, but who knows in Florida? So as long as this clown show is running things, anything's possible.
I keep saying it, disassembling the whole damn thing. Just disassembling. There's no cohesion.
No, it is unsupportable. And there was a big blast at the eclipses in March that destabilized a ton of things, one of them being Hegseth. That's when Signalgate was. And the eclipses coming in September are going to have another round of just washing things out.
Yeah.
And, there are people who have all kinds of non-astrologically based predictions, but I will tell you that there is an aspect happening right at the second eclipse, right around when Kamala's book comes out, that is consistent with attacking the election and potentially undoing it. Now, people say there's no process for that. We are in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And the new moon at the end of this month, I think it's the 25th, 24th, 25th, 24th, maybe. Anyway, the new moon is one that demands working outside the system and coming up with something unlike anything you've ever done before. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Does that sound like language you have heard in the last
couple
couple
of done before, like you've never seen before?
Well, no, but also this is the system is broken. We have to come up with something new.
Oh yeah,
and it's in every life, in addition to on a collective level. So the seed for this is at the end of August. And with that in mind, I have a question for you. And that is, why in the world did Tim Walz yesterday celebrate the anniversary of his having been named as Kamala's running mate?
Because he's coming back. Because he's coming back. That's what I feel. He's coming. He has it in his mind that he's coming back. I don't get at all that Kamala is just resigned to, oh well. I mean, she does want to work from the outside. When she said to Stephen Colbert, the system is broken and I can't do anything from inside. When she said the system is broken, I got the direct connect to the election. Because she won. Like, if she had followed that up, maybe like mentally, maybe that's what I heard. Like, the system is broken. Look at the election. That's what I heard in my psychic mind. That's what she was pointing to. There's many other things that are broken in the system, but that's the reason we are where we are, is rigged elections with the Republicans rigging them.
Well, it's interesting you give the answer about Walz that you do, because that round robin of energy that I mentioned is setting off his values, his communication, his relationship with a woman.
Oh, there you go.
What he does, what he fights for, what he does on a daily basis, and his connection to the public. something being transformed in his career in a huge, huge way, and information that came out or that is coming out as a result of this Mercury retrograde journey, fueling that for him.
And there's a
So
CIA person that came out with the information about the election. Somebody who worked for the CIA. Remember I sent you that?
Yes. Okay, Wildflower Wind says, I didn't hear anything about Tim celebrating. He made social media posts yesterday with a photo of him and Kamala, arms up, holding hands, both looking exuberantly happy and acknowledging the 1-year anniversary of his being named as her running mate.
Yeah, so you'd have, the truth of the matter is if you're not on social media, you don't really know what's going on because everything that's going on is on social media now.
Unfortunately, I just kind of page through Threads and Blue Sky, Threads and I stay off X, Threads and Blue Sky.
I know, and you still have your panic moments like we all do, so we help each other to get off the ledge. What was it last time? Oh, it was the Obama.
Well, okay,
the
now
Obama thing.
there are things that happen. Well, I'll tell you what why my reaction to that was what it was. It was not, oh my God, they're going to get away with this. It was feeling the energy of what they're doing, and that made me sick. I don't feel sucker punched by this nonsense or gut punched. I feel the energy of how absolutely diseased so much of this is that they're doing.
Yeah, the other day I was, kind of didn't mean to, but I was kind of tuning into Dumpy's health and what was going on inside with his organs, and boy, was it gross. It was disgustingly gross. He's so sick. The Four of Swords keeps coming up when I read on him the past several days. And that's the card of illness. Like,
well, when I look at August 12th and his chart, what I neglected to mention, so he's got this conjunction of like more and more and more and more women.
Yeah.
And it's challenging his core wound of his relationships, of his connections, of his money deals. So it's going to be more than just his best buddy and the stuff they would do. I think it's also going to be the funding that came through. There's a lot of talk about the person who introduced him to Melania and this guy's connections to interests in the Middle East that want to develop Gaza. Like that faction of it too. So and then there's all this stuff flying around about Ivana being best friends with Ghislaine. That's interesting.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. I missed that one.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What's really weird about this is I could write you a whole book about everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you can just push away the fog, right? It's all right there.
Mm-hmm.
Ivana, Gazelle, Pootie having the PP tapes.
I think it's worse than PP tapes always have.
There's a lot more than that, but that was what was big. People were talking about a few years ago, the golden showers, and then everyone saying, "Oh no, he doesn't. Putin doesn't have. We know Putin has compromising information. What better compromising information than his involvement in trafficking?
Mm-hmm.
And he's still trafficking.
Well, they've just moved it into the whole. I mean, the whole government is involved in it now with what's going on with ICE and immigrants.
I wanted to talk about that too.
Okay, let me get her chart up. Hang on.
So I asked Kathy if she would be so kind as to look at Christy Nome's chart. Did you hear the latest? They're trying to get what is it, $40 billion they want to sink into building up ICE, which is mostly comprised of domestic terrorist extremist groups, and she can't recruit enough people.
So they've changed the age.
Yeah, there's no age limit. I think it might be either way. Like you can't be too young or too old.
Yep, Superman has an actor who played Superman has signed up.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
Okay, well, this round robin of energy that I talked about is hitting planet of power and secrets in her career house. So something's going on that's really, really public. Well, South Park, for example, really went after her
Oh, they
in the
did? When? Do tell.
last night. Last night, I've
I
just
haven't
seen
seen that.
snippets of it. Also, ICE, her people took a screenshot of the teaser of the South Park episode and used it to promote ICE.
What was the teaser?
Oh, it was making fun of ICE, but they used a picture, they used a screenshot from South Park. ICE appropriated a screenshot from this absolutely vicious show that's going after her.
Are they just
It's
stupid or unaware, or like,
I
what? How did
don't
they think? Did they think they really thought it was something else? They thought it was
I
complimentary.
can't justify. I'm just saying that's how the same people that actually use the phrase Alex,
Alligator.
Alligator Alcatraz, and what's the one they have for Indiana? The Speedway Slammer. These incredibly juvenile
What?
labels for truly.
What'd you say about Indiana?
Yeah, they're opening a facility in Indiana. I think they're calling it the Speedway Slammer.
And then one in Texas too. The freaking building concentration camps. Oh, don't even get me started.
Right. So anyway, so there's something going on now that is going to have some problems for her and her authority and her ability to continue doing all this stuff. And it may not be till early next year that some real consequences come on her. But that would be great because that would imply that there'd be somebody in a position to impose consequences.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Do you see any complications for her in the near future?
Well, Mars is on her Pluto. They're going to have a ton of attacks. A ton of attacks.
Yeah, that sounds bad. That sounds
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah, a ton of attacks. And again, this flow of energy is pummeling her connection to secrets and power in these prisons, and also her basic authority and her position in the government. She may not be as firmly entrenched as her makeup and hair extensions would have you think she
Oh my
is.
gosh, it's pathetic. How much she must spend. You know, maybe she's really, 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 really ugly. And
Oh, she wasn't at one point.
yeah.
The Superman actor is Dean Cain, Cain.
I don't know who he is. What is he? Was he one of the which one? Which Superman?
I don't know. I can't keep track of all of this. I just have the top level information.
I meant to see the latest one, just on a fluke kind of thing, but I didn't hear anything about it.
This is recent. This is recent. Okay, so
so Christy, we want to make sure that she's gonna be held accountable for tormenting and killing people.
Yeah, there's a anyway, the stuff that's being whipped up this week is pummeling a lot of stuff for her that will come back around again early next year in a different form. So the fact that she's not getting ejected at this instant doesn't mean she's off the hook. There are seeds being laid. And
do you think it's the international court?
Oh, that could be a part of it. I will say that at that new moon on the 24th or so, there is something that could be very, very destabilizing for her. And where would that be? That would be internationally. Yes, it would be internationally.
That's what I've seen. I've seen the International Criminal Court coming after her, and something about the Geneva Convention. Who checks? Who enforces the laws of the Geneva Convention? Do we know?
Well, the U.S. doesn't recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC because there was stuff coming at W because of things and war
Oh,
crime allegations and
that's
stuff. So
right.
we've never. So he can't, for example, go to Switzerland. He will
Right.
be arrested if he goes to Switzerland. So,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
maybe if we then suddenly have a group
New.
in power that acknowledges the jurisdiction of the ICC, then there could be something. But
Now we were saying in a previous show, you were talking about all these people seeming to be in big trouble, like the whole mob family, the whole
yeah,
fascist
because
family.
each of them have something in their chart that Uranus in the sky right now in the sign of Gemini is slamming Stephen Miller first and foremost. And
Yeah.
what happened was his wife left him. I mean, that really hit him. Okay, it sounds like a stupid little
I
thing.
feel like I feel like it blew his mind apart, as if it wasn't blown apart already. I did ask you if you could take a peek. Did you see anything?
Well, that's the main thing. With him, the main thing I'm seeing is, um, ew,
Stephen
there could be
Stephen
some
Miller
stuff
the
that.
vampire. Go ahead.
Well, no. So there's something really uncomfortable that again may not really play out until next spring for him, but something's already been set in motion. And next week, when Venus and Jupiter are fused, they'll be fused in a very public place for him, and they'll be setting off his nodes, meaning that there'll be something involving his role in the administration. I don't know what it will be, if it'll have something to do with money, if it'll have something to do with what he's done to families, and this, who knows? I would be
When?
stunned. There's something next week on the 12th. There's something
Oh.
that would be consistent with a bunch of women coming out and saying he did horrible things to them, but that my brain can't go there. I cannot see that as something that.
I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's that either, because no. So
I think it's what I pick up more is that some heinous thing that he did to a family, or like it seems connected to the what he's demanded happen to people, like
right,
disappearing them, and like some
yeah,
story comes out, and it
that
brings
would
to
be.
mind a little bit of what's going on in the Everglades in Florida. There's some horrible stuff being covered up there to the point where I can't even really think about it. And I do feel something being exposed. It seems like it's like next week. Something about these
Yes,
camps.
and it's going to feel like almost like the hand of God has swooped down and gone at
Yeah,
him. And yeah, real strong.
at Miller. I don't know if you've looked recently. I mean, I didn't ask, but we used to look at. I have a new name from Ron DeSantis.
Nope, don't have his chart up, will not. I don't
Yeah,
think he's all that big a deal, but there is something next week that's going to feel like, again, like the hand of God. Like in an old Terry Gilliam animation for Monty Python, where, at the beginning of the TV show, when the foot would come down and squash the TV, it's kind of like that, only it's more like a hand, finger point.
Well, but Ron DeFascist is the one that gave the go-ahead to build this thing in the Everglades in 8 days, and he defied all the environmental protections and everything. So, we can look at it at some point, but he needs to be out of there.
We could say that for so many of them.
Yeah, and I do feel like they're all going. And when you were talking about that round robin thing that's happening in the next few days, right, with the full moon and everything.
It's happening right now, and then it'll like swell over the full moon, right?
Yeah, and it feels like something rising up from the depths of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It has that energetic feeling to it. We all are wondering. The main story in the news, of course, is these Texas Democrats. I don't know if you've peeked at anything? I know that you look at the news for other shows too. So have you peeked at anybody's
Well,
chart
I've
to
got
talk about
I've got
Abbott?
Abbott's chart up.
Yeah,
First off, just historically speaking, the other times that's a stunt that the Texas Democrats have resorted to this, the most it's done, it has been delayed the inevitable. So I personally think it is inevitable that these maps are going to be shoved, that this new map is going to be shoved down the population's throat, but not without some pain and repercussions. Um, so there's a lot of stuff going on with Abbott's chart right now, and it's going to lead to big problems for him by early next year. There's stuff being seeded now. So bottom line is, this is the end of the line for him. I don't see him getting impeached because the Republican Party in Texas has such a stranglehold that when they had absolute proof of the AG's
yeah,
felonious behavior,
yeah.
and when his companion in crime was already doing time, he got off. So I don't see that happening for him. However, there's some stuff that's really uncomfortable going on for him right now. He's getting attacked. You and I had sent to you that Abbott filed a petition with the Supreme Court of Texas to remove the head of the Democratic group. I don't remember the exact term for the position that this man holds. And Paxton objected because he said only the attorney general could do that. So there's some infighting going on among in this little pack of villains. So
Yeah,
that's showing up in his chart, that he's not having an easy flow of things,
no way.
and that there's and this thing about like this giant finger of God coming at is also hitting his chart as well. And this is going to permanently transform his place in the world. What is happening now will permanently transform it. We may not see him getting jettisoned from it, but this is basically the end of his political career. I will go on the record as saying that.
Yeah, it's weird because if you say that the Texas Democrats won't get their way and the redistricting will happen, I don't feel that as a threat.
The fact that the redistricting is crammed through doesn't mean that those are the maps that are in place at the midterms. We're saying the same thing. There
Right.
could be, now, granted, the Supreme Court is about tomorrow evening late. They're probably going to blow up what's left of the Voting Rights Act. So the rest of the system is going to just collapse. But the fact that they cram this through doesn't mean it's still in place in the fall of 2026 when the midterms come. I think we're saying the same thing. I'm saying
Yeah,
that
well, I'm just
legally,
saying psychically, I'm not worried.
right. I don't think it's, first off, I don't think the map is still going to be in place. And secondly, people in Texas are getting kind of pissed off because
Oh yeah.
Beto was, things were fucked with. Beto
Oh
should be a
yeah,
senator.
totally.
Beto should have been
Totally.
governor. Like, no. There are races that have gone sideways. There were votes
Totally.
that were thrown out in the county where Houston is. It's just a
Totally.
hellhole. And I had someone who claims to be psychic tell me that he saw me moving back to that state, and I went, not anytime soon.
I bet you didn't call him again.
Like, oh, I didn't call him. I just kind of offered the info, like,
Oh, okay.
I don't see
Beware
me.
of that. Unsolicited
I don't
advice.
see me existing in that. Anyway, there are people who are really, really pissed off.
But Texas
Yeah,
has great people in Texas. I really think that if it was so ironic, it's like the Republicans going on and on for years about rigging the elections, when Dumpy started all that, and it's like, and they've been doing it forever. I mean, Al Gore should have been president in 2000. Come on.
Well, that starts it. Yep.
Yeah. So we have 25 years of this hell that we've been through, and I really do think the people of Texas, with the floods over the 4th of July weekend, and all the loss of life, and they're supposed to be coming together in Texas to help the flood victims, and he's doing this nonsense. I actually think Greg Abbott is shaking in his little boots.
Well, it's not a comfortable time for him. It's with even with the bravado that he expresses.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
look
don't it's not
strong.
astrologically, it's an incredibly uncomfortable time. I would imagine he's having trouble sleeping. I would bet that
Yeah.
he's getting crap from people close to him even.
Yeah, I think that that's true. And I don't know, do you read people when you see them, when you see video clips of them? Because I do this. I guess it's
Sometimes if
second
I
nature.
allow myself to look at them long enough.
Yeah, and last night I was saying that Abbott reminds me of a rat. He has those beady eyes. He looks like a
Mhm.
rodent.
Hmm.
And so then we were going down the list. What does this one look like? What does that one look like? Trump, when he sits at the Oval Office, the Resolute desk, that he makes fun of it's called the Resolute desk. He looks like a lizard, the way he just. He's been standing more, but I think they put some, like something
Yeah,
in his
he's like
blood.
Frankenstein or something at this point.
Yeah, he really is. I do think that we're going to be okay. I'm not getting all in a tizzy about this gerrymandering thing because people are starting to get really, really angry. And we have all these organizations. I was just listening to Simon Rosenberg. I would recommend to listen to people that are talking about what we have going on as Democrats that have been active in what we're doing and getting involved in your communities. I'm about to write a letter to the local paper. It takes me forever because I have to figure out how to do it in a really condensed way about my experience collecting signatures in a week, which is barely pretty much impossible to be on the ballot to run for city council. My experience was people actually saying things like, "Oh, we can't have that around here." When I was just like by a business or something, and it's like, no, 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 no. So Simon was talking about getting involved in your community, and that's one way to get involved in your community is write a letter to the paper. Run for office. If you don't get on the ballot like I didn't, because I didn't give myself enough time, then write a letter to the paper about your experience. But I really do feel people getting majorly involved in saving our country. This is like we have a purpose now, right? This People are better when they have something to fight for. I really, really know that. Like when you've been really, out there fighting for a cause, knowing you're doing the right thing, you're on the right side of of history, it feels good. And when you see others are doing it too, it feels really good. I think we really need to work on being friendlier with one another. I think it's terrible that people don't talk to each other.
Well, I have an interesting tactic to suggest to people. I mentioned this to Annette. It's something that I did unintentionally. A couple of days ago, a friend of mine, I live in a town where there are still Trump banners, okay? It's semi-rural New Jersey. The state is largely blue, but where I am, so anyway, this friend of mine that I know from a spiritualist church who lives about a mile and a half from me and grew up in this town wanted to meet for a drink. And she suggested a place that's basically a MAGA bar. The last time we were there, everybody was that way. And I thought, okay, great. So we walk in.
Sounds
I
fun.
walk in. She's there. There's a bartender. That's it. And we're talking, and a guy comes in wearing a t-shirt with a uh, revolver on it and sits opposite us and has one beer and leaves right about the time that I mentioned that I've joined the the visibility brigade, the people that hold signs over the overpasses. And the guy gets up and leaves, and the bartender starts talking to us and mentions that this guy had an alligator Alcatraz cap on, which we hadn't noticed, and how glad he was that this guy left. So, two things. First off, our just being there, and we're both pretty metaphysical, created a force field that caused this MAGA asswipe to leave his turf. We were on his turf, just sitting
Yeah.
there talking
Yeah.
about whatever we wanted to talk about. And he left. And secondly, this emboldened the bartender to come up and start talking to us. And it turned out in all this place of all places, he was a former truck driver who'd had what he called a tower moment. We ended up doing card readings for him. So
yeah, that kind of
you
thing.
never know. So invade their
What?
turf, just claim
Yeah.
your space, sit there, and just be yourself, and you will emanate something that will either draw the people who are blue curious, or it will push out the people who are hateful.
And they're going to get more blue curious when the prices go up and this
You
country is
bet.
going to hell in a handbasket, which is happening as we speak. And we will all get on board. Remember, I hate to bring up 9/11, but remember after 9/11, before people started getting all divisive, after that, it was like all hands on deck. We are all in on our country, standing up for our country. That kind of thing is coming. I don't know if you see it astrologically like a moment, but I feel a moment like that coming where we all go, whoa, whoa, we got to be on board with saving this country. And I think Dumpy will get so, oh my God, he's so revolting that the cult mind actually cracks.
Well, we're in the window for that. The next
Oh,
six
okay.
weeks is a window for exactly that happening, and something by around the 24th or so of September that just sets everything on a new course. And I
Yeah.
want to throw one thing in before we go off deeper on that, and that is you asked me about J.B. Pritzker. He is at this moment in time an inspirational figure. That's his role. He's an inspirational figure for the country, for the masses. Whether it continues into something greater, he's not going to be the governor of Illinois. His term ends in January, and he's not. He's
not running.
So, and he uses his money for all kinds of major things. He's part of the heir of the Hyatt hotel chains.
Yeah.
And he is a billionaire. When he entered office, he was the wealthiest politician in the country at that point. I don't know whether he
Yeah.
still is or not.
He's a
But
good guy. Good.
he's in a moment of a beacon of hope, a spiritual beacon. He was on Colbert this week, and it turns out he
Yeah.
lost both his parents at an early age, and he has, even though he has all this money, he's gone into public service because his mother took him to rallies, and he knew that she would be doing that now if she were alive. So he's keeping her legacy alive, and he
Like
has,
like Kamala's
well,
parents.
and he has exactly, and he has the same, because of his age, he has the same signature in his chart that I've mentioned before of people who were born in the mid 60s who have a signature for changing the system to improve it. He's got it as well.
The cosmic hand is involved. That's great.
Yeah, and who knows what he'll move into. I mean, he could be running some huge foundation that funds all kinds of things. There's the next stage will grow out of what he's doing now. So,
well, yeah,
watch
and
another
it
one of
seems,
those watch this space things.
I think we're going to see a trend that Kamala started with her interview with Colbert of, in order to change the system, we can't be in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gavin Newsom is going in that direction too.
Pritzker can't be in the system after January.
Yeah.
So he's also in that camp.
How long has he been governor?
It'll be his second term. And apparently, if he does make it to the end of his term, he will be the only Democratic governor of Illinois who completed 2 terms, because everybody else has ended up in a slammer.
Oh my God. That's where we are. I know, what a mess. We need to drain the swamp. Where have I heard that? From the swamp? Amazing. It's just amazing. I think democracy is going to be something that people all just, it's a no-brainer. We need to fight for democracy, even though it hasn't been that way. I say so many times, I just say we had to go through this time that we're in so the MAGAs would wake up. And if you think about where we were 1 year ago, with all that wonderful Kamala Tim Walz energy, MAGA was really, they were really dug in. And even like when I went walking today, I passed several houses and I was like, remember when they had a Trump flag? Remember when they had a Trump flag? Like, and it is not the same. Like how many months in now? We're almost into the 8th month of Dumpy, right? It is not. People are not for him. What is there to be for? He's destroyed this entire country.
There are a lot of people who are for this horrible stuff that's going on with ICE. Immigration continues to be the scare tactic. But as you say, people are going to start feeling it with the grocery store, and that is going to do it. That plus the fact that he made this promise about the Epstein files, and his administration is twisting itself into knots to not go near this.
I know, and that's what I see happening is he tries to make it like he's not in there at all. Like there's nothing. And the way I've been describing it, you probably heard me say this, is like it's like if you sneeze, a great big sneeze, and you try to collect all those little micro droplets. It's not possible.
Nope.
That's how much Epstein stuff is out there. It's just amazing to me. I think that we have reasons to be hopeful, and I think that we will see this country coming together out of necessity. And that and I really see a spiritual awakening too, like with all these pardons and everything. Really, you know, what kind of country are we? Didn't like El Chapo get allowed to come back in, you know, to come into the country? And so, just like if you're the more heinous the crime, the more Dumpy will pardon you as long as you like him. What? It's insane.
I understand that P. Diddy's people are ready to put a whole bunch of money up to get him out.
To get him out?
To buy a pardon.
Oh, to get Diddy out. I was like, to get Dumpy out?
Yeah, to get Diddy out.
Yeah.
Won't
So that's going to be happening.
Won't that piss people off?
Yeah, that's going to be happening. So all the things that he does, I mean, think about the fathers with daughters. Like, you know, my dad had 5 daughters, right? I mean, no way. So you don't pardon sex traffickers that do the most heinous things to young girls. What? So we have a huge movement that's happening as we speak. And it will be good to be engaged. It will feel like, you know, what's that fear of being left out? Fear of what's that? Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
FOMO. Right? There's going to be a lot of FOMO if people aren't involved in trying to, you know, and saving our democracy, not trying. So, do we have anything we want to end on in terms of here's why you need to be optimistic? Or something personal about this full moon?
Well, no, I want to go ahead. Well, I'm going to say one thing about the full moon and one thing about the upcoming new moon. The thing about the full moon is there are times when you do things because you've always done things and you find yourself thinking, there's nothing wrong with this, but I don't think there's a place for this in my life anymore. Like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. This is a doorway of, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean,
oh, wow.
8 of Cups is your inspirational image for this. Doesn't have to be a huge blow up, but just, I want to go explore and experience something different. Then when we get to the Virgo new moon, it is completely wired with out of the box. Like you can't go anywhere near a box. It's the time to brainstorm and visualize with incredible specificity what you want in your life, what you want to do. Really, really differently. Really, really differently. This is not okay. Now, you know how if you have done resolutions in the past, it's real common to have the same 5 or 6 resolutions that carry over on your list year after year after year after year, and you just never get anywhere on them. So this is different resolutions, not even resolutions, different plans. this is different plans. This is the system is broken, and I'm going to work outside the system and come up with my own game plan for each of us. That's actually kind of exciting.
That's really, really good. And that's kind of the general vibe, to walk away from what clearly is not working.
Yep.
Right? That's the Eight of Cups. So the person is walking away. The Eight Cups are in the background, and they're just like, slowly walking away from it. This way that we've been doing things is not tenable. And I have that series for members of my channel, How to Be Powerful. And I talk a lot about walking, like looking at what doesn't work, like what you're saying, and saying, that's not who I am, and I'm not going to engage in that anymore, because I'm creating a new powerful me. And what needs to happen for that to happen is all the people that have put you down and that you've been catering to when they haven't earned that, like, just boot the bums out. Get a whole new road forward. That's really, really important in life, because life is short, right? Carpe diem.
I keep saying, if not now, when? I mean, really, seriously.
Yeah. And it goes for it's the personal and the collective, both things. Because, we're all one mind, and we're coming into that time where we're going to find more and more that we're all one mind, we're all connected, and science has shown that and proves it. So, anything you want to tell us about that you have going on that you don't want people to miss?
If anybody's in Houston, United Airlines willing, I will be there next week, from doing readings at Body, Mind, and Soul on Friday the 15th, giving a talk about the Virgo Pisces eclipses at Body, Mind, and Soul on Saturday the 16th, and giving a talk about the personal impact of Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries at the Houston Astrological Society on the 17th. If you go to my site, empowermentunlimited.net, and you go to the classes tab, there's information and direct links to everything. I very rarely do things in person, so this is a big deal.
So go meet
and
Kathy.
I'll be in Texas, where I lived forever and ever, and I will be going to a wonderful little divey restaurant that I put on the map nationally with a review. So I'm going to go check it out again.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking my usual plant-based diet for some exceptional chicken fried steak. Oh my God. So
Kathy used to be a food critic.
Yeah. I reviewed restaurants for a decade. Yep.
But you're not moving to Texas. You're just visiting.
No, I'll go there if people who are close to me need help, which will probably happen in the next year, but I will not relocate, no.
And Kathy does astrology readings, personal astrology readings, and that's empowermentunlimited.net. And
that is correct.
And she also is so generous as to give us our daily astrological forecasts on Off the Ledge that I do every single day to give us spiritual inspirement and upliftment. All right. I think that's everything for now. It's never everything, but for now, I want to thank everybody for being here and ask you to hit the thumbs up on the way out, and ask you to please consider, no, don't just consider it, book a reading with me. PsychicAnnette.com. I'm really, really talented. If you need a kick in the butt, sign up for spiritual life coaching. Tonight we have our guided meditation for a healed America, so please show up for that, or you can do it afterwards, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's only a half an hour. And PNN is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Join us for that. Share with your friends. YouTube has me pretty shadow banned, so share with your friends so more people can join us, because we are raising the vibe big time. All of us. Me and Kathy, and there's a whole community that's doing the energy work, and it's working. All right. On that note, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Kathy. As usual.
Thank you.
It's always fun.
Bye.
Working together. Namaste. See ya.
Bye.